All right, someone who has that question mark rank thing, which is okay. Not my preference because, like, sometimes when they're guessing on the rank, they're just basing it on elo, and unless you have a couple of games, like you can be a lot better or a lot worse than that range. But that's fine. I played this all the time, so I'm not really sure. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. I might play a second one. I might not today. Just really depends on if I have time and how long this actually takes. So we'll see here. I'm going to approach here. I have to get more used to the new Josekis because I'm so used to the old ones. Not really sure about this move because if you do this move, like you kind of like take out your pincer move because the pincer move is just not as effective when you do it. This. This is an interesting way to do things. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that right away. But I am going to do this. I think I'm going to take the Sente after this because there's no point in not taking the Sente and jump here because that could actually be, I think like leaving out this, I don't think this is good for him because like he does get a little bit of thickness here, but I do get to jump here and potentially cause a lot of problems. And plus like not being able to attack the stone kind of defeats the purpose of doing this. Okay. I probably shouldn't have done that right away. I probably definitely shouldn't have done that right away, but it's not bad, but it's also not great. Hmm. That actually caused a lot of problems. Does cause some problems, definitely. Yeah, I messed that up. But I think he just messed this up. I'm basically just trying to get the corner territory, but I don't actually think this is a great move right now. But I will take the bottom territory, though, easily. It's a lot of territory down here. And this is kind of redundant. I actually don't know of too many Joseki books. I really don't know too many Joseki books. Because I haven't really read too many of them. I feel like you can probably just search on Amazon. And a lot of people, a lot of players don't exactly follow the Josekis anymore. Okay, that's fine, but I don't think that's a prudent move right now because you're giving me like this move for free, which is going to be a lot more devastating to your prospects of like getting huge amounts of territory. Because now, like, you have territory here, but it's going to be kind of narrow. And plus, like, this still exists. So instead of doing this, I would have definitely done something down here. Because either way you pincer, you give me a very, very comfortable extension. I don't really know why you did that, because I'm just going to more or less do... I mean, I could take this. You know what, I'm just going to take this. That doesn't do anything. I mean, I did screw up here. It is actually a really bad move, because you do leave that open. You force me this way, you're going to give up this influence. If you force this way, that's a new thing altogether. I'll gladly trade this. I'll give you the corner here. In this particular instance, I will give you the corner. For sure. I'll give you the corner. I mean, there's still like this move. And if you give me the side, I'll gladly take the side first. 'Cause that's a huge, huge, like... It's a massive, massive encroachment on your territory, first of all. And you've given me so much territory down here already that I probably don't need to make that much more. I just need to reduce your territory a little bit in order to actually get enough territory to win. Yeah. See, this is like really, really problematic for him because now I'm like, solidly in this territory. He got the bottom here. Also, this is going to be the same thing. Like, this is literally going to be the same thing. Yeah, forcing me up doesn't help you. Is the thing. Like, and this group is actually kind of weak. At this point, I can Hane because if he cuts, then it's not going to be good for him. Like, I'm not afraid to fight him at all at this point. I'm definitely not afraid to fight him at this point. And that's huge. That's really damaging for him because he's asking, regardless of what he does, he's going to give up one of these two sides in terms of territory. And this is not enough territory for him down here. He can't really kill my group down here. Yes, this group does have some issues. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I mean, I can come out here. And he basically has no way to contend with this. I mean, this is basically forcing the issue, which is not something you generally want to do. And his territory that he can get is basically limited to this right now, with still a 3-3 peep, possibly in the future. He's not going to get anything out of this. Probably have to do that. I'll do that. Like, I've completely destroyed his entire Moyo. It's a big problem for him. Now I just have to solidify my own territory. It doesn't actually matter if he invades right now, because even with the invasion, I'm going to get enough territory. I'm definitely going to get enough territory, even with any kind of invasion he does. More than happy to do this. I mean, he might try to kill my entire group, but I don't think he's going to be that successful in doing so. I don't think there's a way to disconnect this group. Yeah, I don't see a way to actually, like, for him to disconnect this. I mean, I guess there could be a way to disconnect that one. But, yeah, but I'm not really in danger is the problem. And now you basically have this. It's also the wrong way. That's also the wrong way to play that. How do you feel about doing more handicap games? I might be okay with doing certain handicap games, but I might be okay with like doing certain handicap games. I don't really like playing high handicap because it does actually force me to play a lot differently than what I usually do, and it's usually not how that's usually not how I would play, and those generally are not good moves. But I would like if people enjoy them, I would actually be open to playing more handicap games though. Okay. Just gonna fix this down here. I mean, I'm just gonna do this and then do this. I'm not going to answer that. I'm actually going to kill this just to make sure this is alive. I mean, it's alive anyways, but this is actually decently large. Now, it does open up an invasion in the corner. At least a co-invasion in the corner. And you can't kill me now. I shouldn't have answered that, actually, because I can just cut here. That was I wasn't really thinking on that. Definitely should not have answered that one.
You have won.
All right, let's actually go back and review this game. This is probably the only game I'm going to play today because I don't have any more time. This is fine for the most part. That's fine. I pincer. That's also fine. I mean, like, oops. Some people will also play this. Some people will play this, but because this exists, I don't know if this is such a good idea. Although, like, if you actually do this, you might actually have me, like, I can't actually go down here because there's like this kind of move, and you actually have me by 1 liberty, so I can't actually do that. So right now, like, if white does this, black should go down right now, like this. Because like this kind of fight, I don't think actually favors white. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. Like it really depends on your fighting ability if I do something like that. But I don't like that for white. So I would do that. I crawl here. This is not a big mistake, by the way. This is definitely like more of a safety thing. I might just do this, and then when white like does this, I might like. Well, I'm gonna keep doing that as long as white keeps doing that. But like, I might extend one more, or I might just go ahead and go over here and pincer this, or even pincer this down here. Because doing this and letting me get the Hane and get that and letting me get the extension come up here, you're leaving out like you can't really pincer this anymore, and this move actually does decrease the potential of your Moyo. So I don't really like this all that much for black. That's perfectly fine. I definitely should not have done that. I definitely should have done this first. This is a pretty bad move. This is definitely the move to go. Because I would actually have to go down, and then you would have to do this, and I wouldn't get that bottom territory. So the thing is, like, if you do this and I do this, you know, like this is a lot worse. This is like generally like doing this, and then like doing this, I would kind of be kind of screwed, you know, like I wouldn't be able to do anything. So that's why this is actually a bad move, because I would have to connect. If I don't connect, if I do this, you basically go down first, and then you play here. I would have to go here, and then you would take this stone, which is obviously much worse for white. So that is the wrong mistake. That is the wrong answer right there. Going here, I'm gonna go bottom. This is still the move here. Because it's not as good as it was. It's obviously not as good as it was, but the thing is, you do actually kind of force this, and it's still not as good here. And you can actually you can actually go here, and this is obviously going to be a lot more solid for black than what actually happened. So a couple of mistakes by me. That's why I said this move wasn't good, because I forgot like the problems down here. So that's not a good move for me though. That's a bad move for him. That obviously is a really bad, that obviously like does not come out in his favor, because I get all this territory. It's not horrible, because he does actually get a lot of the outside influence. For me, if I was black, I would do this. I might continue doing this, or like after I do this, if white answers, if white doesn't answer, it's Hane, or I just might go ahead and just do this right now, because this is actually pretty solid. This is actually pretty solid territory. That's actually a really big move right now. So he does this, and then he does that. That's not big enough. That's definitely not big enough. Since I answered here, I would definitely do this. Because if I do this, you can just keep extending. And yes, you do give some of the side territory, but like this is just so much bigger up here. So that's kind of like a shape kind of problem for him. So he lets me get the separate. Like I do this because I can get a good extension on both sides. That's really not worth. I mean, like I'm just going to take this. I don't really think I have to answer this, actually. I don't think I have to answer this, because, like, if I don't answer this and I just extend up here, he can't really do anything, you know? Like, if he does this, he can't, like, I don't really know what he would actually do, you know? Like, he does this, and he's still dead. So that was my mistake even answering that. I shouldn't have answered this at all. So I just went ahead and took it just to resolve any problems. But that's probably a move that I didn't really need to make. That's bad. That's not a good trade. This is not a good move. Like if you want to attack these two, you could do something like this. You could honestly do something like this, and just kind of like hope on you can actually bank on your fighting skills here for this not to die, because this is pretty hard to kill, and then just bank on getting the territory over here. So that is something that you could actually consider. This is bad because there's an obvious weakness. And obviously, like, letting me go up here destroys this Moyo, which is kind of what you're going for. And it's still not clean, because I still have the 3-3 invasion here. So this is obviously just as bad. Um, I shouldn't have done that because this isn't really worth all that much. Black should just ignore this. Black should just ignore this and go somewhere else like this. And realistically, when he did this, I should have ignored him and just did something else like this. There's not much to gain here. Like, you don't actually have to play this out. Like, once you do this, like, once black does this, he's kind of locked in. But realistically, like, you can just kind of ignore this. Black can honestly kind of just ignore this move. Once you do this, it's really bad for you because you're locked in. That's going to be very damaging. Because now this group is seriously under threat. And then, of course, letting me take this stone, you're giving up a lot of territory while not gaining much yourself. That's fine. I'm going to collaborate. That's bad by me. I should have just left that alone. Yeah, that's not a very good move. This is okay. This is like for every move he forces me out, he loses a bit of points. Because like he's destroying more and more of his Moyo that he's trying to build, and this group's still pretty weak. So I'm more than happy to actually do this with him. And of course, like doing something like this, like you think you're breaking this Moyo, but realistically, there's no Moyo for white here. I can just solidly gain this bottom territory and have way more points than you. So you're doing that again. I'm going to go up here. I'm more than happy to gain this territory because I know that if I gain this, even if you invade now and I just gain this and this, I'm going to have like 20, 30 more points. So I'm very, very willing to actually do something like that. Definitely willing to, I'm definitely willing to do something like that. So this obviously threatens this group, but I don't think it's really under threat. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Now, you would actually want to threaten this group. Like the way you would do it is to play here first and then play here. Make sure I don't have two eyes, and then try to use the advantages of attacking this group to actually strengthen your strengthen your own thing. Like probably something like this. It would be a little bit of danger for me, but not really that much danger. I'm sure if I played against the AI, he could probably kill me, but that's because the AI is probably just a lot better than me. So like I did that. I probably should have responded something down here. That's not a good move because that's easily solid back. That's an even worse move. The thing is like you're probably looking at moves like this, but even that really wouldn't work here, you know? So because obviously like if white wanted to connect, white can just kind of do this and you're kind of screwed. So the thing is like if you want to invade down here, you would play something like this to take away my eye space. You would definitely play something like this to take away my eye space. Because without the eye space, like there's a little bit of danger for this group. I doubt like if equal ranked opponents could actually kill this, but there is a little bit of danger down there. So like I shouldn't have done this. I probably should have just like solidified and maybe done something like this down here or something else. I'm not exactly sure. But this actually lets me survive, which kind of like see, as soon as the danger to this group is over, you can see my lead goes way up. So realistically here, the only way he can win right now is to threaten my big group. And this, like doing this move takes away that threat. If you want to destroy the eye space down here, this is the right move. Or either this or this. These are honestly kind of similar. So it's going to be either this or this. The only choice I have to do is go over top. And obviously like this kind of move. And you can obviously do this. And then like, you know, I basically have a Gote eye. And it could actually be a little bit troublesome for me to actually live this group. So, and then you can use the advantages of attacking this group to maybe destroy some other territory too. So this is actually like a wrong fighting killing move. That basically destroys his chances of ever really threatening me. And because he destroyed his chances of ever killing me, like my territory is just going to be way, way greater than his. That's not really worth it because that's like 6-7 points. And I'm just going to kill this because that guarantees that I'm going to live. As long as I guarantee that I'm alive here, I win. So that's kind of like where like he fell behind on the early Josekis, obviously, but he definitely made a huge mistake in trying to kill my group here. So that is the game for today. That's the lesson for today. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and I'll be back next time with another game.